Hello, everyone. Welcome to College Talk Tuesday, number 17. Today, we're going to be talking about being prepared for fall term, COVID edition. So for all of those of you who are starting college for the first time this fall, this is for you. So here's our agenda for today. It's short and sweet and to the point. Basically, we're going to be talking about OSU's message in regards to this fall term and all the changes taking place because of COVID. Then we're going to be talking about the current state of education in Oregon in college, and we're going to be offering some of our personal advice for all those students that are going to be starting their first term in college during this COVID madness.
At Oregon State University, we're working hard to enable students, faculty, and staff to learn and work safely and successfully this fall. We know that students value the relationships, social networking, and other benefits that come with an on-campus college experience. We also know our students really value an Oregon State education and their OSU degree. We are committed to providing courses and programs that meet students where they are and support them as they progress toward their academic and personal goals. If you feel safest taking OSU courses online at home, we are there for you. If you choose to live and pursue your studies on campus, count on OSU. We do know the university experience will look and feel different for all of us this fall. Our plan for on-site teaching, research, and service activities is based on current health conditions and public health guidelines, and is designed for maximum flexibility if conditions change. Our plan will be updated as needed. Here's what to expect. Flexibility. Oregon State will offer 4 types of courses: in-person, remote learning, blended, and online through eCampus. Remote learning features scheduled class times and video conferencing with our world-class faculty using Zoom. Blended learning is a combination of in-person and remote learning. eCampus online classes are more flexible, self-guided, and do not have set class times or direct face-to-face engagement with faculty. Our faculty's experience using all of these forms of learning, in-person, remote, blended, and eCampus, will provide students a high-quality OSU academic experience, even as we contend with COVID-19. We anticipate a majority of our Corvallis students will engage primarily in remote learning this fall. Some will choose a combination of blended, in-person, and remote classes. And with our growing selection of eCampus courses, some will choose online learning. Labs will be offered in person, remotely, or online, depending on the course. In order to advance safety among students and faculty, the number of in-person classes will be few in the fall term. In-person classes in Corvallis will have no more than 50 students, and most will have many less than 50. In-person classes will be held in large rooms or broken into smaller sections to ensure students and instructors have space for physical distancing. At OSU Cascades, classes traditionally serve far fewer students. Meanwhile, classrooms on both campuses are being made Zoom-ready with additional technology. In-person class instruction will end at Thanksgiving break for Corvallis students, with final exams and projects conducted remotely. Other changes you'll see. Face coverings are required in common indoor spaces and outside where social distancing isn't possible. Physical spaces on campus will be adjusted to comply with public health guidance. New signage and directional arrows will help minimize close contact in campus dining centers, coffee shops, and other common spaces. Students living on campus in Corvallis will have only one roommate or live in single rooms in order to reduce density in residence halls. At OSU Cascades, the residence hall will feature only single rooms. Campus move-in will occur over several days, and you will be assigned a date and time to move into your residence hall. A variety of dining options will be available, but all items will be served to go. Common areas in university buildings will be cleaned and disinfected frequently, and classrooms will be deep cleaned each evening. Cleaning stations will be available in classroom buildings so you can wipe down your space upon entry. All members of the Oregon State community will be expected to conduct daily health self-screenings. You must stay at home if you show symptoms or have been exposed to someone with COVID-19. Testing will be available to Corvallis and OSU Cascade students, and rooms and support services will be provided in residence halls at both campuses for isolation if students need it. Our path for a safe and successful fall requires all of us to take personal responsibility by wearing face coverings, observing physical distancing, and monitoring our health. It will take all of us working together to help keep Beaver Nation healthy and contribute to the safety and success of our students and employees. We know Beavers always rise to the challenge. Thank you for doing your part. Go Beavs!
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that video, and I hope that helped to answer some questions about what Oregon State is doing to help their students during these times and how to keep everyone safe while they're still taking college courses. And we're going to be talking about the current state of affairs, as we're calling it, or current state of education. So as many of you already know, most schools in Oregon are going virtual, at least until winter term, and it could continue even after that. Most classes are going to be held online, with the exception of a couple which may be hybrid, such as labs, especially science labs that require time in the classroom. But again, that all comes back to each individual course and what it requires. So just make sure that if you're registered to any of those classes, especially classes that require a lab, that you're in communication with your professor so that you know whether or not that's going to be requiring you to go in person to do any lab projects. The other thing is that there's so much happening online. So I just wrote on there online everything, including advising, registrations, the actual courses themselves, and even extracurricular activities. Make sure you take advantage of everything that's out there and don't dismiss something just because it's online and you've never done it before. If you run into any troubles or have any questions, always ask for help. I wrote on there that communication is key. And for students who have been doing online education in the past, even before COVID, they can tell you that if you don't communicate your needs, you're going to fail. It's very easy to fall through the cracks when you're not communicating with your professors, when you're struggling. If a link isn't working in the class, or you're not understanding a concept, or something's not working for you, you really do need to speak up. And it's really on you to initiate that communication. It's a little harder than it is if you were in person, because it's very easy to just raise your hand or approach the professor after class when you're done. But when you're online, you have to take it upon yourself to start an email and send that to your professor or even your classmates to just ask questions and engage. The other thing is, it's very different to take classes online than it is in person, because in person you have that physical commitment that requires you to be there in person at a certain time. With online, sometimes you don't even all have to connect at the same time. So really you could be connecting at any time to do your work, but it's very easy to put that off, and time will pass, and then the next day will pass, and before you know it, a whole week has passed. And that's why it's very easy for some folks to fall very behind and even fail their courses, because they weren't connecting on a consistent basis. So just keep that in mind. Try not to procrastinate, especially when you're taking a class online, because it can get very easy to fall through those cracks and then be too late to catch up. So make sure you're connecting every week. You have a schedule set up where you're spending 1 to 2 hours a night or every other night to make sure that you're keeping on top of things. Take advantage of resources available to you. Ask for help when you need it. Remember, you still have access to your advisors. You still have access to your professors. They still have office hours. And even creating a community with your peers. You can still have study time together, connect via phone, via FaceTime, via Zoom, or texting, whatever works for you. That's all still possible. It's just going to look a little different than it did when you were getting together in person. And then we wanted to go into some tips for taking classes online. as I've stated before, I think two of the biggest keys are communication and time management. And that also works in person, but especially when you're taking classes online. You want to make sure that you create a calendar for yourself and you know when your assignments are due, because you'll notice that I think in my experience, most classes had things due on either Sundays, Mondays, or Fridays. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're not missing deadlines, that you have a calendar of when you're going to be connecting, and you stick to that. Because like I said before, it's really easy to procrastinate, put things off, and then before you know it, it's too late to catch up. Um, and I think that's pretty much all I got for you. Jennifer, do you want to say anything on that topic?
Nope, I think you know what, your tips were just really important. The time management and setting a schedule and setting aside time and sticking to it so that you kind of have a schedule. Because that's the other piece about an online system, is that it's really hard to have a consistent schedule. And the more you can do that, the more you're going to be on top of things and keep up with things. And again,
Yes.
don't hesitate to ask for help. Please know there are a lot of people that want to help you be successful this fall term. We know it looks different and it won't be as fun doing online classes, but it's possible. And there are a lot of people that want to help you.
Yeah, and actually that reminded me. So on top of communicating and actually initiating conversations, another big piece is actually checking messages that you receive. So make sure you're checking your inbox, your email inbox, maybe 2 to 3 times a week at least, just to make sure that you're giving prompt responses to whether it be your professor or your peers or anyone at the college who might be trying to reach you. They may be trying to reach you through email, and that's very important to keep checking, because they will get frustrated with you if time passes and there was something important they were trying to communicate to you and they never heard back. So make sure you are checking those message boards and those emails for your courses. And with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude tonight's College Talk Tuesday. It was a really short one, but we do want to let everyone know that we're here to help. So if you have any questions, need any assistance, I know that right now a lot of students are still working on getting their class registrations or trying to figure out any little issues with financial aid or their admissions process. If you're feeling stuck, and this doesn't have to be just at OSU, if you're going to a community college or anywhere else, let us know. We'll do our best to help or connect you with someone who can help. With that, take care, be safe, and take it easy.